Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Huddle for Friday, June 3rd of 2022. Today, our featured guest is Michelle Caba. Michelle is a finance professional and entrepreneur who's had a successful career in the banking and fintech sector, working with global Fortune 500 companies for 20 years. After building a business in the beauty industry using an inbound marketing strategy, she successfully sold it and found herself consulting fellow business owners and entrepreneurs. In March of 2019, she launched the Fama Agency. So in 2019, the Fama Agency LLC was born, a business consulting, brand management, and digital marketing agency. At the height of COVID, she helped small business owners transition towards digitization. What is it? Digitization. Michelle is a certified business coach that has supported new entrepreneurs prioritize strategies resulting in accelerated growth for their business. She credits her success to being innovative, building relationships, and problem solving. Michelle's visionary uniqueness is her innate ability to build businesses, master branding, apply social media and digital marketing skills to create successful outcomes. Please help me welcome Michelle Caba to the Morning Huddle.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to all these wonderful small business owners.
Oh, my pleasure, Michelle.
I have a very unique background and I approach marketing in a very unique way. Because of my experience for 20 years in global Fortune 500 companies, I've worked on trading floors where we basically analyze, assess consumer behavior, right? And decide whether a company has a valuation that we want to trade into, discerning management, discerning cash flow, discerning marketing. So now that I own Fama Agency and I work with so many small business owners, I apply some of that methodology because, like many of you, I used to own a brick and mortar. When I left Wall Street, I decided to buy a nail salon in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I actually purchased it from a reality star that had 2 million followers. And so the thought process was, if she has 2 million followers, it must be profitable, it must have a following, but it just wasn't the case because she didn't really understand business and she really didn't understand the power of branding and marketing. So why wasn't I afraid to buy a failed business? Well, it gave me an opportunity to really hone in on what was going wrong and turn that around. So where I didn't have to worry about the build out of the location, I didn't have to worry about hiring a team, I could just really focus on my numbers, which then helped me plan out my strategy for branding and marketing. That business went from making less than $1,000 a month to $20,000 to $40,000 a month when I took it over. And I really credit all of that to knowing my numbers because I started at first creating a financial plan and forecast that really dictated what was going to be my customer journey and how committed I could be to that customer journey for the long haul. Yeah. So what do I mean by customer journey? It's how I was going to meet my customer, show up to my customer and remind them of my products and services. And what was really profitable for me was influencer marketing, email marketing, and social advertising along with digital ads. So I speak to that because oftentimes small business owners skip that step. They think that because they know their operating costs in terms of what their expenses are, that they're good. They're good to, think about taxes and other things. But what's not being considered is that your numbers tell a story. They tell a story in terms of your money mindset, how much you're investing into your business, how much you believe in your business. And it also speaks to how committed you are to your products and services. But more importantly, it really helps you price your products and services correctly. So you don't undervalue yourself and lower your pricing because your competitor has, a higher price and you're hoping all these customers come in. What that really does is just tell the world that you're not valuing your business. And it doesn't help with your marketing moving forward. So now what I do is that when a small business owner contacts me for marketing or branding, usually they're in a space of panic because it was never planned. They never budgeted for it. They really don't understand where they're taking their product and service. They just know that they want to be profitable, that they want revenue coming in. And so what I do is that I tend to help them build this financial plan and forecast before we even talk about branding, before we even talk about marketing, because numbers do tell a story. They tell us just how committed you are to that product. And so once we have those numbers in place, we're able to build out this story, this experience, this, branding machine that your marketing will then start to use and produce and convert clients.
Yeah.
And
Michelle, I'm sorry to interrupt because I'm fascinated with what you're saying. And I want to dive deeply into that point you just made. But I wanted to ask you something. Because you are one of those rare entrepreneurs that understands the finance piece, right? And you understand the marketing piece. And you just said something that is like tremendously valuable for everybody on the call. But before that, I wanted to ask you, you took that journey from Wall Street, so to speak, to Main Street. For you in your career in Wall Street or working with banks and those organizations, what were the biggest takeaways for you that you apply now with small business owners from that time, right? From what you're doing now, what did you learn and are applying today from your time as a Wall Street banker, so to speak?
What I apply today is that basically there's a formula to business. It doesn't matter what type of business you have. The formula is the same. It's just plugging and playing what you're selling, right? So that's the one takeaway. The second takeaway is that they understand the value of creating an experience. Even as a financial institution, we created experiences for our investors, right? And the way we reached out to them was through many different avenues. It wasn't just when they visited our website, but it was also through email. It was also targeting and understanding their challenges and interests. Even when we had some type of an IPO, right, that maybe they weren't aware of, we knew how to target the investor specifically. All of those strategies and tactics that big banks use to keep their clients engaged and with the company, as well as these luxury brands, are available to the small business owner. The difference is the money mindset. When you're working with these global banks and you're working with investors, they have mogul mentalities. And what I mean by that is that they structure their businesses in a way so that it continues to be profitable no matter what's happening in the economy or what global pandemic event may happen. So that's the biggest takeaway, is building a business with a mogul mentality where things can happen, but they don't shake you up because you're really clear about the direction of your business and how you're going to get there.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michelle. And we're talking to Michelle Caba. She's the CEO of the Fama Agency. And I want to remind everybody, this is a conversation. So if you have a comment or question, please do not be shy. Raise your hand and I will pass you the mic. Because this Michelle, this dynamic between finances and marketing and branding is something we haven't quite taken a look at in the Morning Huddle. So I'm so happy about that. So you said that some great takeaways. I love that idea of the mogul mentality. I want to learn more about that. But before we get into that, you said that before you work with your branding and marketing clients, you look at their finances first. And you said that money tells a story, or the money piece of the business, the financial piece of the business tells a story, right? Can you shed more light on what that story is? What do you look for before you get to the marketing question?
Sure. So, I have to protect myself as a business, right? So marketing is not just a one and done deal. It's something that you need to work on daily, weekly, monthly, because truthfully, the behavior of your consumer is changing daily, daily, monthly. So many a time, small business owners think that, okay, I'm going to hire a marketing agency. I just need them for 3 months and I'll have the clients coming in. But that's not the case, because truthfully, you have to create a personalized marketing strategy that converts, right? And then the client's behavior starts to change, and you want to make sure that the language you're using is engaging, that the graphics that you're using for your digital ads or your emails or for your social media is engaging, and you need to stay on top of the trends, right? So the reason why I always go to the money or to the financial planning and forecast is because it tells me just how invested they are in their business. And oftentimes when I ask them, do you have a financial plan and forecast? Have you budgeted for marketing? They'll say no. They have no idea even like what the percentage should be, to contribute to their marketing. And so what ended up happening is that when I would do these like one-on-one coaching sessions for the financial plan and forecast, there would be this aha moment. Because what it does is that it walks you through how you see your business within the next year or 5 years. And you start to see this customer journey come into fruition. And in addition to that, you start to think about products and services that you can offer, maybe, in the future, that build loyalty to your client.
Yes. The interesting thing about the budget, how much do we set for a marketing budget, and, how we're invested in the business. Can you shed a little more light about that part of it?
Sure.
What do you think is the budget, I guess, is what I'm getting at, that business owners of different financial resources should set for marketing? How do you look at that?
So it depends on the revenue, on what revenue is produced. What's said to be the right marketing budget is between 7 and 12%. But what I promote with my agency is that marketing could be so many different things, right? Marketing has to be personalized to your business. What works for my business in terms of marketing may not work for yours. So, when we think of marketing budget, I think oftentimes small businesses think about, being in a magazine, digital ads, email marketing, billboards. But sometimes marketing can be as simple as a networking event, because that may work better for your business and attract more clients, right? Marketing can be printable materials, so that you have them ready and available. So I feel that the 7 to 12% of the revenue is what is recommended. But what I do help my clients with is figuring out what will work well for your type of business. Because unlike many other agencies, I'm constantly studying trends, and I've worked with so many types of businesses that at this point I have a good handle on what really works.
So we are talking to Michelle Caba, everyone. Thank you for that, Michelle. And she is the CEO of Fama Agency. She had a career in Wall Street and is now helping entrepreneurs through the Fama Agency with branding, marketing, etc. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Don't be shy, or a comment, and I will pass you the mic. So you mentioned something about the right money mindset, Michelle, and mogul mentality. Let's start with mogul mentality. What does that mean?
So when I think about a mogul, I think about somebody that has planned out their business for the longevity, right? For, to build generational wealth, to leave a legacy. And oftentimes it's a person that has built the business in a way where they're the visionary. They're not doing it absolutely all. And the reason I promote mogul mentality is because I experienced it in a really smaller scale. Going back to the salon, I wasn't a nail tech. I wasn't a hairstylist. I was really able to focus on the business. I was able to come up with the strategies and then hire the right people to help me implement the strategies so that I can move on to the next project, the next type of product that I wanted to, bring to market. So to me, a mogul mentality is someone that sees themselves as a visionary and builds the business in that fashion.
So it's thinking about your business not only today, but 5, 10 years. Where do you want it to be?
Right.
And then aligning the strategies and tactics that you're using to that long-term vision.
Correct.
Right? And the money mindset that you find with many small business owners, where do you think that needs to be improved? What would you say about that?
When you own a business, it's a very vulnerable experience and it can be quite isolating.
Yeah.
We can all share that sentiment. And what we may not realize is that sometimes some beliefs that we may have grown up with when it comes to money can surface. The biggest fear of any entrepreneur, business owner is to lose money, right? That's the biggest fear for any one of us, because then that means we can't pay ourselves, we can't take care of our children, or in my case, I used to be so concerned about my employees and making sure that they can take care of their families. So for money mindset, to me, is something that you work on a daily basis, because it's really easy to fall into this negative space of, I don't have enough, or let's just say be in a scarcity mode where I'm not going to spend that money for this business. I know I need it, but I'm not going to spend it because I don't really trust it. Then you're in a negative space. How about switching that whole mindset to, I'm abundant, I have a great product, and I know that if I invest my money in this, whatever it could be a new product, it could be marketing, it could be revamping your website, I am certain on my product that it will convert new clients.
So, one of the interesting things about that is about setting a budget and understanding the right money mindset, because I think you're right. I mean, I can speak for myself as an entrepreneur that sometimes you do equate scarcity with the money, right? Essentially, it's a tool, but we equate it with scarcity, and that causes issues for us. We make the wrong decisions. And during COVID, that was a very alarming time, and we saw that for example, women were very much impacted that over others, over men. For example, women-owned businesses suffered disproportionately. Women, as head of households, etc., suffered as well. And sometimes we have that scarcity mentality, and we may not have the budget for the marketing. We may not have the thousands of dollars for marketing. So how can when we are dealing with limited resources, how do we cultivate that correct or can-do money mindset?
So I feel that the financial plan and forecasting is like the best way to build confidence. And I'll tell you why. Because one, you need to know what your goals are. If you don't know what your goals are, then it's going to be really hard for you to create that path to achieving that goal, right?
Yeah.
So again, negative money mindset is being stuck in a place of, these are going to be all my expenses. But how about let's think about, what's my goal and how can I get there? So I find that when you have a financial plan and forecast in place, not only does it help you create the customer journey, but it also helps you to start thinking and strategizing of the many ways that you can get the funding to start the business, whether it's through grants, whether it's through, business lines of credit, whatever it may be. But what it does is that it helps you stay grounded on what the whole purpose is in building this business.
And I think that's so important, Michelle, because if we don't do that financial planning and forecasting, kind of everything just swirls in your head, right? All the ideas swirl in your head. And then like our biggest fears are the ones that we hear the most. because we haven't seen the numbers and how exactly they play out. And if we need funding, like exactly how much do we need?
Right.
Right? It's not just a matter of I need money, but also like, what do I need that money? How am I going to invest that money? And I wanted to also say another thing, Michelle, because I think, and I want to dig a little deeper, but when we talk about portfolios, talking about, you know, your path on Wall Street, we talk about investment portfolios and being diversified. These are things you hear about wealth creation and wealth management. Your business is an investment. And you said that, right? We don't often look at it as an investment. You're investing not in a stock or equity like a Fortune 500 company. You're investing in you. And that's always a good bet, to bet on yourself and on your capabilities in your dream. And also, of course, grounding that to a plan so that you feel and you have the confidence to know how much money you need, where you are, and setting those proper goals, etc. What do you think about that, Michelle?
No, it's true. I mean, it's an avenue. And I think, listen, you can diversify in business. Sometimes you have one business and another idea comes up for a different business because you have your hand in the pulse and you're speaking to customers on a daily basis. And that's your best market research, right?
Yeah.
So there could be some type of problem out there in the market that you can easily solve, and your existing business can be the catalyst to that.
Right. And also you mentioned something important, which is digitizing. Because now I'm working on a class that I will be announcing soon in the virtual incubator that's called Your One-Page Business Plan. And this was born from the business model canvas, Michelle, which is a tool that, you know, they use in Silicon Valley to kind of assess the business model, how we make money in a business. And the cool thing about it is that up to about maybe 15 years ago, nobody really was thinking about business models. But because of the digital economy and there being so many ways that you can make money at low cost, right?
Yes.
Because you don't necessarily, we heard from someone today, I don't have a watch store. I have actually an e-commerce store.
Sourcing, yes.
Right. And so it's a sourcing challenge and then putting that in there and then making sure that is fulfilled. That being said, I'm going to go to Yasne and then I'm going to go to Denise, who have their hands raised. Yasne?
Thank you, Danilo. I just wanted to confirm, as an entrepreneur myself, the importance of making that investment in yourself, first of all, in your business. I have personally invested close to $30,000 in the last 2 years for my business in personal development, professional development, programs that have helped me take my business to the next level and pass on that information to the clients. And the reality is, when you can make the investment in the program, in the coach, in the service that's going to accelerate your process, it's worth it. You know, it's worth it. And for me, you know, taking the Run Like Clockwork Accelerator program, doing the membership for Profit First professionals, doing now a membership program and a group coaching program to train myself on how to switch from pure one-on-one coaching to group coaching, because that's what's going to take me to the next level. That's what it takes. Yes. And doing those projections, you know, I help clients all the time to do it. I had to do them for myself. Mm-hmm. When I was trying to investigate the idea of getting a loan. And one thing I realized for my own business is like, you know, the loan is going to be a bandage. What you got to do is really scale. Do the group coaching, assess your pricing, increase your pricing, because I was undercharging myself and I saw that in the numbers, and increase your profitability. That's what it takes.
Yes.
That's what it takes. And it's an investment of your time, your energy, and your money. It's worth it.
I love that you said that. One other point I want to make is that if you don't work on your money mindset, what ends up happening is that you're not going to sell. You're not going to sell your products. And so, Danilo, I'm actually about to release my financial plan and forecast digital course. And next week I'll add it to the chat when it's all ready, because I'm getting my email drip together, right? We have to plan this out. But oftentimes that feeling of, and you may not even know this, you may not even know you're doing this, but of unworthiness stops you from actually producing the revenue for your business, so that you don't need that grant and you don't need, the loan. Like what you said was so true. It ends up being a Band-Aid. Truthfully, it's in you, right? It's all in you. And when I do my one-on-one coachings, my clients get the aha moment of like, oh wait, I was pricing myself so low. Why was I doing that? Or I didn't think about this product. Oh wait, that's totally attainable. I can totally make $1 million in 1 year. Right? So it's important to be prepared. And even myself, when I bought the salon, I don't do nails, I don't do hair. But I had a friend that owned 4 nail salons. And so I hired her as my coach, because you know what you don't know. All you can do is invest in yourself and your knowledge, and build as much confidence through knowledge. That's how I like to say it.
Powerful, very powerful. Thank you for that, both of you just named Michelle. I'm going to go next to Denise, who has her hand raised. Hey, Denise.
Everyone. Hello, everyone. And Michelle, you're so optimistic, and that's beautiful. But as you keenly said earlier, everything that works for one person or one business doesn't work for everyone. And when I hear the word invest in yourself now at this phase of life, 14 years in the game, I feel like that's a cop out to not help or assist, because I do believe I'm worth billions. I have movie scripts and all, but there are so many ramifications and all people justifying or entities justifying based on ignorance. So that doesn't mean when you invest in yourself, renting venues, paying for the venues, paying graphics, paying DJs, paying all these people, do you not get the support even after you did the work? And you don't get the support. So what are you supposed to do? Yes, you need marketing. Yes, you need a budget. Yes, you need all that. But it's a difference in people who had support and opened a business, or who build and still did the work without the business, without the support.
I totally get what you're saying. I come from a family of entrepreneurs that owned small businesses for many years, and felt how you felt stuck. And I would say that back then, 30 years ago, they pretty much had to save themselves. But today, in today's market, and the way that so many organizations are committed, and the government is committed to helping entrepreneurs, there are free avenues for you to inquire or get some type of a mentor or business coach for free. Sometimes you just need that one person that will listen to you, listen to everything that you've done, and just try to figure out where the stuck is and help you get unstuck. But I understand, and I totally understand everything you're saying, but I know for a fact that there are, for example, one program is called Micro Mentors. It's an online.
Daniela is helping. I do have a chart to re-advise my business plan. So he is helping on that. But at the same time, like I said, doing it for 14 years, and it's like, come on, we don't have that support. We don't have that economic. They say, like even with the school, they say, get your license, you'll get the contracts. And Mr. Miami-Dade County School, I've had my vending license for 2 years, and I have not gotten a contract as of yet. And we have applied to wash them police cars. So you do all that work.
Thank you, Denise. Can I chime in on that? Because I think I want to echo that. So, one of the folks that I admire in the marketing space, Michelle and Denise, is Seth Godin. You guys have read Seth Godin. The reason, and by the way, my specialty is marketing as well. So I love marketing, and I love Seth Godin. Let me tell you why. Because he says something that I think is powerful, and that's why I love entrepreneurship. That you're in control. You as the entrepreneur are in control. He says you get to pick yourself. You don't wait for anybody else to pick you. You pick yourself. You invest in yourself, and you move. And with the digital economy, everybody 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, Michelle, we didn't have access to a radio station. We didn't have access to a print publishing company, right? Today, these things are within our fingertips. I can launch a blog that could be read by millions. I can launch a podcast, right? And the marketing piece to me has always been so fascinating because that is really the way to grow the business. And one of the things I always like to say is whether your budget is $0 or $1 million, you still need to plan out financially what your plan is, right?
Right.
So pick yourself. What do you think about that, Michelle?
Pick yourself, and also don't be I'll say this. Picking yourself sometimes means stepping out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
And speaking to, this digital age, what's beautiful about it is that you can go directly to the person that makes the decision.
Yeah.
Like there's really nothing stopping you from that happening. I've gotten plenty of business deals via Instagram DMs, LinkedIn, just me reaching out to a decision maker at a specific company through LinkedIn. So, I totally agree with you. It's really within you. There's really nothing stopping you. But if you do need some type of like emotional support or someone to guide you to that, there are some organizations that will do that for free.
Absolutely. They've been on the Huddle. We have the Miami-Dade Business Navigator that can provide a coach for free.
Right.
And no business will be turned down. And we had them come by the Huddle. So there are a lot of resources. But there's a point there that Denise made that I wanted to address, which is the marketing. It's not good enough, Michelle, or how do you see it? Is it good enough to have a great product that is just amazing? Will that guarantee its success if it's not marketed properly? What do you think?
No, I mean, I'm sure we've all experienced on this Huddle a product that was sold to us via marketing, and we get it and it's like an awful product, right? What sells your product is your why and the experience that you're committing to the client, speaking to the challenges of the client, speaking to the interests of the client. That's what sells the product. I know people that have sold products and it's not even out in the market. Like it's not something that's even tangible. And it's all because they've gotten into the head of their consumer, the head of the brand avatar, and has convinced them of this great product that's not even out in the market yet.
Yeah, you can have a fantastic product and yet it will not sell because it wasn't marketed properly. You mentioned something about the drip, right? Before releasing your course, you're creating the structure of how you're going to market that course so that once you release it, it's successful, right?
Right.
So, and drip marketing is something that sometimes it's complicated. The first time I've heard about drip marketing, building funnels 20 years ago, I was like, what is this, right? It's counterintuitive. But, we partner with BizHack Academy and we're launching our digital marketing masterclasses on June 15th, and they're totally free, Michelle. And I invite everybody on the Huddle to be a part of that. That's where we learn these advanced principles of marketing also, so I encourage everyone to check that out. And I remind you, if you have a question or comment, we're getting at the 10, 11 more minutes. If you have a question or comment, please raise your hand and I will pass you the mic. And Michelle, the salon story that you have, when you first encountered that, you mentioned that you looked at the books, you looked at where they were operating. Can you tell us a little bit more about that experience? Like, what was the key in turning a business that was producing at one level, which was okay, but then you turned it and quadrupled or quintupled the revenue? What was key in you approaching that issue or that challenge and then having that challenge be met or be successful?
So what was really interesting, right, was that she was on Love and Hip Hop. She was on this reality show. She had 2 million followers. Wow. But the people that were following the salon were not people that lived in that area, right? So you can post how many times, but none of those people are flying from, Detroit or anywhere to that salon. So when I saw the numbers, it didn't scare me because I knew the potential of the neighborhood. I had done my research, my market research in terms of my competitors. I knew what products they were offering and what products they weren't offering. I was clear on the demographic. The demographic almost spoke to me. It was almost like I was the demographic. So I knew exactly what type of products they would want. and how to set my business apart from all the other businesses. So I'll give you one example. I'll give you two examples. My salon was the smallest. I went from being open to the public to being appointment only. And it was because I offered a nail printer. So you basically could come in with any design you had. We would upload it into our software and it would print on your nail. Just the experience of having a printer print a design on your nail became such a big deal. And I posted it on socials. I posted it on Yelp. I posted it on my emails spoke about it. My influencer marketers spoke about it. That one of the top designers in the country that dresses Oprah and dresses Michelle Obama, she was releasing her capsule collection at Bloomingdale's, and her people reached out to me via DM, Instagram DM, asking us if we could bring our printer and print the fabric, the design of the fabric on her guests' nails. So, going back to the question, know your market. Know your market. And honestly, there are things that you're going to do because your personality is way different than the previous owner that will spark joy and spark profitability into the business. So I always tell people, don't be afraid to buy a failed business. As actually, one of my coaching clients just bought a failed business because of me. And she's amazed of like how it's turned around. And it's also a nail salon in Kendall.
Wow. That's amazing. So turning a business around, knowing your customer, that's like one of the key things, because we tend to have our owner hat on, Michelle, and we don't necessarily think of how the customer sees the business and the products and services, right?
Right. Oftentimes, and this happens a lot in conversations with my clients. They have an idea of how they want to introduce the product because that's, how they feel the market will accept it. Mm-hmm. But it's not the case. It's really important to build a brand avatar, really understand the interests of your brand avatar, their challenges, where do they shop, what do they do, what are their hobbies? So then you can build this campaign around your product that really speaks to them. And Danilo, actually, at the end of the month, I'm also releasing my ebook, which is going to be how to turn a failed business into a profitable one. So wow. I'll definitely share that with everybody.
Fantastic. Awesome. And Miss Stephanie was saying she's looking forward to your, she thanks you for your inspiring presentation and looking forward to hearing more about your upcoming products and courses. So there you go.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So we are at the 54-minute mark of the hour. And I just want to ask anybody if they have any questions or comments for Michelle, one of those rare entrepreneurs that has licked both the challenge of managing your finances and marketing, which is unique because we tend to struggle with those two things. So anybody has a comment or question, please raise your hand and I'll pass you the mic. Michelle, what else do you want small business owners to know about this challenge of managing the finances and making sure that you're marketing like a master, right? Like you're really going out there, knowing your customer and letting them know that you're there to serve them. What else would you want to add to the conversation that we haven't covered yet?
I want to encourage everyone to set a goal to be profitable. That profit number is the number that you get to sit at brunch and really boast about and cheers champagne to, right? And the way that you become profitable is by paying yourself first. So I really want to encourage everyone to sit down and really think about what their goals are for their business, like realistic goals, and then build your business to achieve that. Fantastic.
Marketing always starts with a goal, right, Michelle?
Yes.
And actually anything in life, really. Marketing is like life in that way. I'm going to go next to another amazing entrepreneur, Shivis.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, Shivis. Good to see you.
Good to be here. Good to be here. I just want just thank for the talk today. It was a really good talk. And one thing I did take away is, and I think we need to understand this as entrepreneurs, which was a good lesson for me, is sometimes we fall in love with the business because we believe it's our passion, it's our purpose, and it's something that we really need to be doing. But if the business is failing, maybe it's not what we're supposed to be doing. And the connection I made is Michelle said she didn't do hair or nails or anything, but she bought a salon, which means that she wasn't in love with those items, but she was in love with building the business, which went profitable from, losing 1,000 or making 1,000 to 20,000. So I think a lot of times we need to step back from what we're doing and reevaluate what we're supposed to be doing. And, growing up as an artist, and this is just an analogy, you tend to draw very close to your drawing, and your art teacher would tell you have to step back. And Danilo, you might understand, you might have to step back and look at the painting. When you see cartoons or movies, they step back and they do this kind of notion. It's because sometimes you don't really see what you're drawing or painting until you step back and really see what you're doing, and then you can make those corrections. And so with that said, a lot of times we get so stuck and caught up in what we're trying to do instead of doing what we're supposed to be doing in our business. And that's what kind of makes us business fall off or fail. And so I just appreciate, knowing that she wasn't a hairstylist or a nail tech, but she still had a successful salon business. So I just want to encourage us as business owners to really step back and really look at what we're supposed to be doing instead of what we want to be doing.
I'm so happy you brought up that point because it's very common. And there's a book that actually helped me. It's called The E-Myth. What I did was that I set out to build my salon as a franchise, which meant that I couldn't be the owner, the manager, and the technician. Because if I was sitting down and doing nails, my view of my business would be a different view than if I was the visionary of my business, right? And so I always encourage my clients, whether they're my coaching clients or my done for you services clients, is that you need to take a day to work on your business. Working in your business every day doesn't allow you to build the strategies you need, or the, like you mentioned, the ability to step away and see everything from a 30,000 view, which is necessary sometimes.
Wow, that's amazing, because E-Myth, I think we're all fans of E-Myth. I see Yasnay is also a fan. I'm a huge fan of that book. It really helped me 20 plus years ago really understand the different mindsets that we have when we approach the business. And I think, Shivas, if I had like a special effect, sound effects, I would go ding, 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 because that's the reason, I think, at the root, that's my personal opinion, at the root of why we struggle with finances and marketing is that's the fundamental fear, right? That we're so close to the beautiful thing that we create. It means so much to us that we don't step back from it and look at it with money, right? With figures, and really think about, not from a perspective of an owner, but from the perspective of the customer, and guide the marketing in that direction. So that's where we get in trouble in these two areas that I'm from my experience, 9 out of 10 small business owners struggle with. Because the finances are just, sometimes it's a harsh story that they tell sometimes, Michelle, and we want to shy away from that. But Shivas, thank you so much for that insight. I think that's powerful. Michelle, you get the last word. What else would you want to add to the already amazing conversation we've had?
I would say, every day, say a few words of affirmation that make you change your whole perception about how you're managing the money for the business and marketing. Like, one of the affirmations I love to say in the morning is, show me how good it can get. Because it doesn't matter what happens that whole day, in my mind, I know that I want the universe to show me how good it's going to get. So I'm not afraid to, send out an email, whether somebody likes it or doesn't like it. It's okay, because I'm confident that I'm going to see how good it's going to get.
Fantastic, Michelle. Well, I want to thank you for your time. I believe that you have your contact info in the chat box.
Yes.
So that everybody knows how to reach out to Michelle. And let's give her a big round of applause, guys.
Thank you,
for
guys.
Her insights today.
This is great.
Thank you, Michelle. And thank you for joining us, frequently in the Huddle. We appreciate having your support in this community that we're building. Okay.
I enjoy it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Hope to see you soon again. Everyone, please stay safe. I'm going to stick around a little bit longer just so that you can download the chat box if you haven't already. And thank you for a great conversation. And we'll do it again next Friday at 10 a.m. My email, and I will put that it's in the chat box. And you can reach out to me if you need coaching, consulting, or other assistance That's what I'm there for. And I can connect you to other partners that can also assist you. There's a lot of help for your business. The mayor and all our partners want you to be successful, and the investments are being made in that. So I hope you feel that here in the huddle, and I'll see you again next Friday.
Thank you. You have a great Friday. Stay dry.
Thank you.